All right. Good morning, everyone. Off to a great day here today in Michigan. Got a beautiful sunshiny day out. It's going to be a great day to get out and go do some stuff as far as business related activities. I know we've got the after hour events are starting to pick off across the country. So if you have them coming up, I believe we have one here tomorrow here in Mason County with the chamber after hours. I think it's a Cluck Bucket. Don't hold me to that. So I'm signed up for it. So I'll know tomorrow for sure. But either way, it's going to be yeah, get a chance. Go check those networking events. This is the time of year to do them. We got everybody back in town, and it's just good to see everyone. So it is May 7th here on Small Business News. For those of you who don't know who I am or what I do, I'm a small business coach. I work in West Michigan and again different states around the country. We can learn more about what I do at Summit Business Guides, summitbusinessguides.com. I will check that out in a second. But what I do here is I go over and share some of the information that I share with my clients every single day with you here live on Small Business News. It's a live program. It's on Facebook and on YouTube. Feel free to hop on and join me during these times so that, if you have any questions specifically about small business or what we're talking about that day, you can hop in, join the chat. If you haven't subscribed already, please do, or followed me on Facebook or YouTube, please do. Love to have you on here. All right, so things we're going to be covering today is we've got some economic indicators for April are all out. I got a nice little article where they're all consolidated. We're going to take a look at those. Definitely some trends trending in a concerning manner. The economy still looks like we've got certain areas looking good, but then there's other areas where you just see the trending where everyone's tightening up, and that's an indicator for future state of not good things. So, another anecdote that we have here was a survey that was just released on a note on where the small businesses are focusing their time and energy on their time horizon. TLDR, it's closer than you think. And then lastly, take a look at this opinion. I don't know, it was they answer questions on this page, whatever like that, but it was it's on Inc.com where someone submitted a question about they were contacted by someone outside of away from their business about the conduct of one of their employees away from business, and that it's interesting note from that person about their concern level that they have for that, and it got me thinking a little bit about how things have changed, but also I thought it was interesting perspective, and then I give my two thoughts on it. So yeah, but let's get into it today. But before we get into all of that, I want to start off with a tweet that I just had come through, and I wanted to share this piece with you here. So it's from Lizanne Saunders. You can check her out. She's a really great market when it comes to the financials. Get macro level thinker. She's pretty impressive lady. Um, so if you go through the tweet here again, lower income Americans less likely to name inflation as largest problem because of their immediate financial concerns per Gallup. 16% of those making less than $40,000 say they're most concerned about not being able to pay debts. For 5% of those versus 5% of those making 100,000. But I want to take a closer look at this. There's some interesting notes here, which again I definitely want to highlight for us here. So the most important financial problems, and again, we got the lower, middle, and then upper incomes. Inflation is still high. It's still number one, by far, almost 2 to 1 over housing costs. Matter of fact, the bottom two you still have to add together to get there. However, it's not as high as you have the middle income and then upper income folks. Housing costs, again, for middle income, leads between there and the next spot, but it's really where you're getting into, you'll see this with the lower income folks. It is housing costs, not enough money to pay debts. We're starting to see the cracks here when we've been seeing them consistently at this point, that there's not enough money to pay their debts. Um, definitely been a thing. Healthcare costs, and we get insurance, unemployment, lack of cash flow. But I just thought this was an interesting anecdote today, just to share with you here. If you're not following me on at More Upside on Twitter, please do. You'll find some interesting takes on some stuff there as well. So let's take a look at this is the economic indicators, April 2024 employment. So with that, as always, the links to every single article that I discussed or on the show are in the description. So go there, check it out if you want to review this for yourself, which I do. I highly recommend for everyone. Um, Go through this with me, but it's always best, in my opinion, to do the research and and look at things yourself. So let's go through this. The economic indicators are released every week to provide insight into the overall health and performance of the economy. They serve as essential tools for policymakers and all these people, especially businesses. That's because they allow them to make informed decisions regarding business strategies and financial markets. In the week ending May 2nd, the SPY rose this much. Yeah. All right. Among all economic indicators, some of the most closely watched are those surrounding the labor market. Sorry about that. They provide insight into the health of the economy, but they also impact individuals' lives and play a central role in the government policy decisions. At its meeting last week, the Fed voted to keep interest rates between 5.25 and 5.5% for a sixth consecutive meeting. Also, last week, a slew of employment number updates were released that offered insights into different aspects of the U.S. labor market. This article discusses the key data, and that with the with the Fed deciding to keep those rates there. They even talked in not just in the press conference afterwards. Chair Powell was talking about the fact that he sees higher for longer. Basically, we're going to be maintaining a high rate for quite some time. And again, it's due to the fact that there is underlying strength in the economy just due to the cash flow function that's out there from government spending. Got to remember the Inflation Reduction Act is, and it's basically this is going to be the third year. We're basically entering the second to third year of those financial outlays going happening. You get your first couple years of planning, year and a half are planning for these projects, which are, they're supposed to be shovel ready. They never are. And then the funds start being released basically every year as they meet milestones. We're at the point now where there's a lot of milestones regarding labor, but also just the outward expenditures are there. So expect to see some underlying support there just from government spending. All right, the employment report. The labor market added fewer jobs than expected last month. Absolutely. This was a shocker for a lot of folks there. The unemployment rate inched up, pointing to a cooling labor market. The April employment report revealed 175,000 jobs were added last month. That falls short of the expected 238,000 addition. April's job numbers were a slowdown from March's revised 315,000 addition. That was the smallest monthly gain in the past 6 months. The report also revealed a slight increase in unemployment rate to 3.9%, alongside a stable labor force participation rate of 62.7%. Additionally, hours earnings saw a smaller than expected rise. So, and we'll get into those. We'll look at this chart in a second. So, with that, that's one of the reasons why folks are saying we're in a stagflationary environment where inflation is staying high, but wages are not keeping up. So where employers can't afford to give raises out to keep up with inflation anymore. So that is where you're getting that stagflationary environment, which is a terrible cycle to get out of. It's very difficult to get out of, and that's one of the concerns or worry about it taking hold, because it does take a long time to work through. When we look at the overall, non farms payrolls monthly change, and you can see the numbers as they've been making their way down. This is obviously where we had the um again, as far as the job cuts going down, 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 a number of jobs that they're posting here have been bottoming. And, in my opinion, I think we're going to be bottoming here one more time. I don't know if we're ever going to get to a point to where we're going to have, at least in the near term. I don't know. It's always hard to say. I mean, because it's mostly sentiment is going to drive this next spot, but where we start shedding a ton of jobs. I think there's just still too many openings out there that people can't fill. So anybody that does happen to lose, we're kind of at this level now, this 200,000 level. Anything below that, where they would basically increases the number of people losing their job, there's openings all over the place that people can go. So I think we're finding that we're kind of getting to that point now where it's going to be tough for it to go much lower. Now, with this, JOLTS job openings and labor turnover, this JOLTS report's definitely one to keep be aware of and keep an eye on. Now, this highlighted an easing labor market as job openings fell to a 3-year low. Okay, so the openings have been reducing. There's still a ton of them out there. You ask anybody, they've got a ridiculous amount of them. Now, the number of job openings decreased by 325,000 to 8.5 million job openings. Okay, that's what I'm saying, folks. That's a lot. So, other key data points from the report show that number of hires, quits, and layoffs each declined from the previous month. Most notably, the number of hires dropped to 5.5 million. It's the lowest. Again, they're slowing hiring, but they're keeping the job openings there. It's one of those, quandaries. They're being definitely more particular about who they hire. However, there's going to be a glut of people entering the market over the next 6 months. You can just see it happening up here, right? All right. So, anyways, you just see where we got the data here, where things are trending. Things are definitely slowing in the economy, is what. But again, in my opinion, the Fed wants to see things break before they're going to make a large swing at basically make any cuts in the basically any cuts to the uh, interest rate. I just don't see it happening. They want to see a break. So without it being a heavy break, it's usual stuff. And there's the ADP employment report. The average pace of hiring in the private sector has accelerated for three straight months, while pay gains continue to stabilize. The ADP employment report showed that 192,000 private jobs were added in April, more than a projected 179,000. The report also revealed little change in pay growth, with pay gains for job stayers inching down to 5%. Meanwhile, pay gains for job changers first time fell for the first time in months to 9.3%, but remains higher. Pickup in April was most notable in large employees, mid-size companies, as they added 144,000 combined, basically 75% of them. And again, you just see the non-farm private payrolls that they come out with the ADP report. We've seen this all the little spike going up in 2022, and then it's dropped back down, and it's back. We're back down to where the historical norms are. There's nothing. I mean, it's really. I don't want to say this here. We're at the point now where we're getting stabilization is kind of the theme for the day. So, it's just one of those things. Just keep in mind it is definitely there. But where we typically are seeing a larger uptick in hiring around this time of year, we're not seeing it. So again, that leads into the next spot here, where we talk about where small business owners are focused on where their focus is at over the next few months. So with that, we have small business owners focused on short-term challenges, survey finds. Now, small business owners, and this is from, again, financial regulation news. Super exciting website. But this is the stuff that I read for my clients. So, small business owners are focused on staying afloat in short term rather than planning for long term. A new survey has found the survey, Truist Annual Small Business Pulse Survey, found the following: a year of inflation and economic uncertainty. Small business owners are reporting higher levels of stress as they remain optimistic about growth in 2024 and expect business conditions to improve. In recent years, our survey has shown the impact of economic uncertainty and high levels of stress can have on small business owners regionally and nationally. But it has also shown the resiliency of small businesses that serve our communities each and every day. Running a small business is no small feat, which is true, which again, that is why I do what I do as far as helping small businesses grow faster than ever thought possible. You can learn more here at summitbusinessguides.com. Check it out, learn about some of the businesses that I currently work with in the local area here in Michigan, and I do have one client here in Maine. Again, this is just a smattering of the folks I work with. Learn more about the Pinnacle business operating system I have my clients use, and learn a little bit more about me. A lot of good stuff there. So get a chance to go check it out. Now, the report found that most small business owners are struggling with long-term strategy because of their short-term challenges. Only 30, and that has to do with you making sure that your foundation is solid. That's an important piece, that you have a strong foundation to be able to even think about doing the longer-term stuff. Only 35% reported having a formal growth plan in place, and of those, very few had shared their plan with anyone outside the business. Just 32% said their plans have been shared with business advisors like CPAs, bankers, and lawyers. Now, without those formal plans in place, officials said the small business owners may not be addressing key areas where they need improvement, like prospecting and general generating referrals. At the same time, small business owners said they felt unprepared to handle unexpected events. Only 42% said that they were prepared to handle an economic downturn, and 41% said they were prepared to handle a natural disaster. Running a business takes planning, research, funding, and is a huge commitment of time, Steersman said. When small business owners looked into the future, having a trusted financial partner, right, uh, that understands their goals in business and help them plan through the challenges and opportunity ahead. Still, small business remain focused on financial concerns like rising costs, inflation, economic uncertainty, and finding new customers, 31%. And I just go back to this too. That is one of the things that I do and I help my clients with time and time again is where we come in and I have a systematic uh, approach to where we get the foundation right first as we are formulating long-term strategy and get in a rhythm to help my clients build that long-term successful growth that they are looking for their business. And it's why, business coaches like me exist, is we are that accountability piece. But also, we've done this a bunch of times. So when you're coming in for our coming in for our expertise to hire us in so we can help exactly with that. So, I would say if this doesn't necessarily apply to you, if you do know a small business owner who is, the water is always nipping right about here, just about to their nostrils every time, have them reach out to a small business coach like myself. You can learn more at Pinnacle Business Guides. It's a group that I'm associated with, and they can, help set you up with somebody who would be able to help help set them up with somebody who can help them out. All right, so let's get into our last bit here, and this is from Inc.com. This is someone emailed me about my employees' behavior outside work. I don't care, should I? When I saw this, I was like, I just started laughing because let's read through it here and I'll give my thoughts on this. But it goes to the state of the world we're in. So this is from Allison Green answers questions about workplace and management issues. A reader asked, I recently got an email from someone with screenshots concerning an employee of mine. They were of a personal nature directed to an organization outside of work using her personal time and her personal equipment. They didn't concern us at all. They weren't racist or hateful rants or anything of that nature. She was probably a jerk, it'd be my guess, who this was. All right, it was between her child and her child's school. It was sent to me semi anonymously. Boo, man! If you're gonna take a time to snitch on someone, put your put your stamp on it. You better be proud to be you're snitching on someone. Say exactly who you are. Now, I personally wouldn't have handled the situation the way the employee did, and think it could have been handled better by both parties. But I have read through the correspondence, and I could not care less what happened between her and the school. I also don't have the whole story, nor is it any of my business. There were no threats made, although she used some colorful non-hate related swear words. She also didn't mention our company. Fantastic. This employee is a great at her job. She is passionate, straightforward, and some of her demeanor can read as adversarial, which is honestly what I pay her for. I have no complaints about her work or the person she is while she is here. I don't know her outside of work. I am the owner and also her manager. I don't even want to mention to her I got the email. I just want to say it is none of my business and delete the message and forget about it. Can I just not tell her I received anything and chalk it up to this doesn't concern me? Yes, you can. You absolutely can. Um, and again, the rest of it, should I respond back to the person that this isn't my concern or my company's, or is it best just not to respond at all? So my take on this, and as someone who during my time in leadership, I've received a lot of these about employees that work for me long time, and especially in the last last decade or so, you get quite a few of them. They just show up, and my response has been, as long as it wasn't something like where they mentioned top, where there's um and using the name something like company abuse, equipment abuse, uh, racist things that that side of the world. Um, as long as if they were just it was just an argument between two people, and frankly they were exchanging words, I just deleted it. I didn't even care. They sent me a note, and that was it. I said, thanks for sending this. I say, I got your message, and I'd leave it just at that. And I've only had maybe two other people out of the dozens reach out to contact me, ask what I was going to do about it, and I let them know nothing. Appreciate you sending say so. Have a good day. Take care. But anyways, let's see what get what Allison has to say here. So okay. So Green responds, in theory, yes, it would be fine for you just to ignore the email and move on. But I actually think you should let your employee know about it because it's possible there's context that would make it important for her to know. For example, if the person she was corresponding with has a pattern of handling conflict inappropriately, this might indicate an escalation that needs to know about or feels needs to take action on. Frankly, even with no past pattern, if someone who works at her kid's school is trying to get her in trouble with their employer, I imagine someone higher up the school might want it. Ooh, also, just putting you're putting yourself in people's business. No, 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 no. Long story short, that she comes in here and she's saying, "Hey, you really should, think about saying something." And what I would recommend is, go with your gut on this one. Like, it's not your business. Acknowledge you got it, and then just move on, delete the thing, and move on. The reason being, which says, if you mention it to the employee, say, "Hey, I got this note about you, and it is what it is. I don't care. I'm just gonna, but I just thought you should know, and none of us care." That is going to plant a seed. Even when you say it doesn't have anything to do with you, it's none of your concern. But then you talk to your employee about it. You have now put a seed of doubt about and concern about their, what's going to happen to them at work, getting them fired up on something that does not relate to work. You're bringing in outside work, outside issues into work, which that employee has done a very good job, according to you, of not bringing outside issues into work. You're setting that standard that this is okay. Again, if you delete it and then later, if it comes out that the lady, your employee finds out that, hey, did someone send a note to you about some stuff that happened at my school? And you say, yeah, I deleted it because it doesn't matter. So yeah, let's get back to work. That is different than the other way around. You see what I'm saying? So again, my advice on this, and it has been for years, for leadership, keep work and that as to the greatest extent possible, keep the stuff outside of work just separated. And because that employee, if as long as they're keeping work separated as well, you're all kind of in agreement there. I'm not hiring you to be an amazing person outside of work. I'm hiring you to be exactly what I need you to do here at work here and represent the company well while you're doing your work outside. If you bring up the fact you work with us and then are a jerk, that's an issue. But beyond that, you're just going about your business, and this is a argument between two individuals. What's a little fight? Happens all the time. So, but just keep that in mind, folks. Again, in this day and age, we're so worried about cancel culture and just the mob coming after us. Those I think it's been proven time and time again. Stand your ground. Have a standard. Support your employees if they're good workers, and just do your part. Use your best judgment, but don't be afraid of the mob coming after you for something. That's no way to run a business. So, all right, but anyways, I just thought that was interesting. I thought it was great. The initial that employers, their initial thought, I think, was just spot on. So, just it's not my concern. Perfect. All right, so again, that's what we got for today. Here again, we talked. Quick note from Liz Saunders. Again, I shared on my Twitter. Again, we're just talking about where the concerns are at, and it's inflation is high on everybody's mind. It's just less so as you get on the lower spectrum of wage earners. Um, they've got other things to worry about, like their housing and also their debts. They're more concerned about being able to pay off their debts because, again, as we know, you have more capital available as you make more money, right? More expend that free capital, so that discretionary capital. So with less, of course, they're going to have issues paying off their debt. We looked at the economic indicators that were out there. Things are trending. In my opinion, they've been trending down. They're continuing to get um, not worse, but things are normalizing. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a pickup and then another drop off later in the year, just due to the fact we've got additional cash flows coming from the Inflation Reduction Act. They're going to be definitely hitting the market or hitting the economy here, and have been. And they should start outflowing. The outflows should start happening soon. Good Lord, use your words, Ryan. We talked about small business focus again. That everyone is definitely near sighted. Their focus is very close to where they're at right now, and for reasons, right? They're not sure where the economy is going to be at. They think there's growth, but nobody wants to get overextended at this point. So just keep that in mind. And then we finish up with the article that we had here with the individual as well. So with that, thanks everybody for watching this episode of Small Business News. If you made it this far, hopefully I've earned your subscription today. And if so, please hit the notification bell so you know when I go live every single day, which I do come through here every single day, Monday through Friday, the best of my ability. When I do have my client issues, obviously, or where if I'm out dealing with my clients, they're gonna win if they need me. But I tend to, if I can, I'll do the show later in the day. So with that, thank you for stopping by. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow.